The Redskins at Niners. I love how the Redskins are underdogs in this game. I don't know if you were watching the same two games I did on Monday, but I watched the Redskins pull off one of the hugest upsets of the year when they beat the Steelers, right? Then I watched the Niners get absolutely clubbed by the Bills, and they thought they watched those two teams and they're like, you know what? I think the Niners are better. I'd like to set lines because I feel like I can do a better job than that. I think I can figure out that Washington looks like a better football team. You know what was so impressive about Washington's win? I'm sorry, Steelers fans, I have to do this. What was really impressive about Washington's win? You told me heading into that game that Antonio Gibson would get hurt in like the first or second play. He would only have one carry for like 10 yards. And you told Terry McLaurin would get 2 catches. And that the entire defense wouldn't sack Big Ben once. I would have said we would have lost that game. I would say no way. There's no way we win the football game with Terry McLaurin not being a huge part of our offense and no Antonio Gibson and our offensive line not getting a sack on Big Ben. That's what was so impressive about the Redskins' win against the Steelers. You know, Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas was legitimately, I was like, he's pretty good. I think he's a great third option. If you can't get it to Gibson, you can't get it to Terry McLaurin, I don't know. I was like, maybe throw it to McKissick because McKissick has been able to do some great things out of the backfield. But to Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas looked like, God, one of the top 5 tight ends in the entire NFL. Legitimately, it looked like Kelsey, Kittle. I would obviously, and you could switch those two around a lot. Waller, probably. 3. Logan Thomas. That's what it looked like to me. He was phenomenal. I did not see a single player in the football team that was as good as Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas was great that game. He was huge. Thank you for Logan Thomas for carrying my fantasy team to a victory, because that's what he did. Then you look at another huge player on the offense that I felt really stepped up, Cam Sims. Cam Sims was a guy almost no one knew. He didn't have a lot of catches in college in Alabama, like 6, 8, 12. I think his senior year he had 9. It was just, he was not used a lot in Alabama. He was phenomenal. He was really good for the Redskins. That one-handed catch at the end of the game, I think that was what the play that won us the game. Obviously, the Montez Sweat bat down. And that's what I'd like to talk about a lot here, too. That defense is legitimately one of the best defenses I've ever seen play. I'd say ranking them, I say the Steelers have a great defense. I'd say the Saints have a great defense. But those are like the only 2 defenses that I can put above Washington at this point. I gotta give props to my guys. Washington Redskins have one of the best defenses I've ever seen. I've seen this year. I'm sorry, I've ever seen. That seems like a little bit of an overstatement, but look at that defensive line, because that's where it starts. That's what makes this team so special. All first rounders: Montez Sweat, Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne. All fantastic playmakers. Then added in the middle, Tim Settle, a guy who's been playing really well this year. Ryan Kerrigan. We all know Ryan Kerrigan. Fantastic. And then imagine, next year, they're going to get Matthew Ioannidis back. And you're going to have to figure out, which of these 7 guys do we put on the field at any given time? Oh, I'd like to see who you're going to try. Who's going to block all those guys? Because I'm telling you, you got to double team Chase Young. What are you going to do? Single team Montez Sweat? Can't double team both of them because Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen are also legitimately really good at defensive tackle and pressuring the passer. Let's talk about these linebackers for a second. John Bostic made a huge play at the end of the game, but he also had a very solid game throughout. Cole Holcomb, again, is one of the best players. One of the best young linebackers. He was a runner. He was close to getting Defensive Rookie of the Year last year because he was just that good. He was a really good player last year. He's a really good player this year. Go in the secondary. Dang, Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller had a bad game against Pittsburgh. But that's what he considers a bad game. Is that. He still had a really good performance. Kendall Fuller is still legitimately a top 10 corner in the entire NFL, even after that bad game. Top 10 corner. He's been phenomenal this year. Really good by Kendall Fuller. Ronald Darby seemed significantly better. Then you look at Fabian Moreau and Justin Moreland. Both guys have been playing really well. The safety play is astounding me right now. How did we start Troy Apke at the beginning of the year over guys like DeShazor or Everett and Cameron Curl? Cameron Curl is legitimately playing at a high level at safety. And then you look at Deshazor or Everett. How were we playing Troy Apke at the beginning of the year? Troy Apke, I believe, still does have some role on this defense. I think we can be used in the future. But how are we starting him at any point last year? I like to give some props also to the offense. Alex Smith had a phenomenal game, really got us back in this game. And for all his game manager, everyone calls him a game manager. Come on, Alex Smith is at least a little bit more than a game manager, and he threw some pretty balls down the field. Terry McLaurin could have caught that one, but Cam Sims, perfect throw, perfect catch down the sideline. It was beautiful. What I'm worried about in this game is obviously Terry McLaurin's going to go off, but what are they going to do at running back? Antonio Gibson will not play in this game. So the likelihood is they give more carries to J.D. McKissick. J.D. McKissick is a very similar player to Antonio Gibson. I'm really disappointed that Bryce Love's not healthy, because if Bryce Love was healthy, this would be his chance. This would be his chance to shine. Unfortunately, he's on IR, and that's a whole thing. He's out for the year. I hope he comes back next year healthier. I don't know if he's ever recovered from that college injury. Dang, I really wish. He was a great player in college. I really wish we could see him more on the field. This is going to be his next year's going to be his last contract year, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I expect J.D. McKissick to get a lot of carries. Peyton Barber, I also expect to get a decent amount of carries because Peyton Barber has looked pretty good in short yardage situations. I'm excited to see how they use this practice squad guy they're getting off. Either Michael Warren or Javon Leake. They haven't. I don't know. I think it's one of those two. Michael Warren, undrafted free agent out of Cincinnati, but Javon Leake's looked. He was explosive at Maryland. He didn't get his time to shine exactly because Anthony McFarland was there, and we all saw that Anthony McFarland. He had a couple solid runs last week, but I think Washington's just a better overall team than San Francisco. If Jimmy G was back, this would be a whole different story. But last year, Redskins almost lost to the San Francisco 49ers. That was the NFC champions, San Francisco 49ers, by 9 points. That was with an offense led by Case Keenum. The defense played really well. I expect the defense to also take advantage of Nick Mullins. They get to the quarterback because that offensive line's just not healthy. And I expect Kendall Fuller to lock down Deebo Samuel and Ronald Darby to lock down Brandon Ayuk. Give me the Redskins here in a rout over the Niners.